Hello there, and welcome to this quiet corner of the world where time moves a little slower and the air carries stories written in gold and amber. Tonight, we're stepping away from the rush of everyday life to walk together through an autumn forest where every footstep whispers against fallen leaves and every breath draws in the essence of changing seasons. This is a place where worries fade like morning mist, and where the gentle rustle of branches overhead becomes the only soundtrack you need. We'll wander slowly through pathways carpeted in nature's finest tapestry, where oak and maple trees stand like ancient guardians draped in their seasonal robes of copper and crimson. Here, among these towering sentinels, we'll discover the quiet magic that happens when summer surrenders to autumn's gentle embrace. There's something deeply calming about this transformation, something that speaks to the rhythm of rest that lives within us all. If these peaceful explorations help you unwind or give you a moment of tranquility in your day, feel free to like and subscribe, or simply share a thought in the comments below. It helps others find their way to this serene space too, one peaceful soul at a time. But for now, let's begin our gentle journey into the heart of autumn's embrace. The forest in autumn holds a different kind of silence than any other season. It's not the complete hush of winter's snow-covered branches, or the busy chatter of spring's awakening. Instead, it's a soft, contemplative quiet that wraps around you like a well-worn blanket. As we step onto the forest path, the first thing that greets us is the satisfying crunch of leaves beneath our feet, each step releasing the earthy scent of decay and renewal that defines this magical time of year. Above us, the canopy has transformed into a living cathedral of color, where once green leaves filtered the summer sunlight into dappled patterns. Now we walk beneath a dome of amber, gold, and burgundy. The light that filters through these autumn leaves carries warmth in its touch, painting everything it reaches with a gentle glow that seems to come from within the forest itself. Each leaf catches the light differently, some glowing like stained glass windows, while others cast dancing shadows that shift with every gentle breeze. The path before us winds deeper into the woods, following the natural contours of the land like a river of packed earth and scattered leaves. Ancient roots create gentle rises and dips along the way, worn smooth by countless seasons of rain and the footsteps of woodland creatures. Moss clings to the north sides of tree trunks in soft green cushions, providing a subtle contrast to the warm tones that dominate this autumn landscape. As we walk further along this peaceful trail, the trees begin to tell their individual stories through the language of their leaves. The sugar maples stand tall with their five-pointed leaves, now dressed in brilliant orange and red, each one a tiny flame against the darker bark. Some leaves still cling stubbornly to their branches, while others drift down in lazy spirals, adding new layers to the carpet beneath our feet. There's something mesmerizing about watching a single leaf detach from its branch and dance through the air, following invisible currents until it comes to rest among its companions on the forest floor. The oak trees present their own autumn display, with leaves that shift from green to gold to russet brown, their edges curled slightly as they prepare for their eventual journey to the ground. These mighty trees, some of them centuries old, stand as monuments to patience and endurance. Their thick trunks bear the scars and stories of countless seasons, while their spreading branches create natural shelters where the forest's quieter inhabitants find refuge. Between the larger trees, smaller saplings and understory plants add their own touches to the autumn palette. Wild cherry trees display leaves that have turned a deep burgundy, almost purple in the filtered light. Dogwood bushes contribute splashes of bright red, their oval leaves creating small bursts of colour against the more muted tones of their surroundings. Even the brambles and wild roses that line the path have joined the seasonal transformation, their leaves now wearing shades of yellow and orange that complement the grander display happening in the canopy above. The air itself seems different in an autumn forest. It carries a crispness that speaks of cooler nights and shorter days, yet it still holds enough warmth from the season past to keep the chill at bay. Each breath brings with it the complex perfume of decomposing leaves, rich earth, and the subtle sweetness of late-blooming wildflowers that have found their moment to shine before winter's arrival. There's an almost wine-like quality to this air, aged and mellowed by the slow processes of nature's eternal cycle. As we continue our peaceful walk, the sound of our footsteps mingles with the other gentle noises of the autumn forest. Somewhere in the distance, a woodpecker taps out its rhythmic message against the bark of a dead tree, while high above, the rustle of leaves creates a soft symphony that rises and falls with each passing breeze. Occasionally, the scurry of small feet through the underbrush reminds us that we're not alone in this peaceful sanctuary. Though these woodland residents seem content to go about their autumn preparations without disturbing our tranquil passage, the light continues to change as we move deeper into the forest, shifting from the golden warmth of direct sunlight to the cooler, more diffused glow that filters through multiple layers of leaves. In some places, shafts of light break through gaps in the canopy to illuminate small clearings where ferns have turned golden brown and wild grasses sway gently in the breeze. These natural spotlights create moments of pure magic, highlighting the intricate details of spiderwebs draped with dewdrops, or the delicate patterns of frost that might linger in shadowed corners even as the day grows warmer. The path begins to follow the gentle curve of a small stream that winds its way through the forest. The water moves slowly here, its surface reflecting the autumn colours above like a mirror made of liquid glass. Fallen leaves float on the current, some bright and freshly fallen, others darkened and waterlogged from days of gentle travel downstream. The soft babble of water over stones adds another layer to the forest's peaceful soundtrack, a constant gentle murmur that seems to slow time itself. Along the stream's banks, different plants thrive in the extra moisture. Cattails stand tall in small marshy areas, their brown seed heads swaying gently in the breeze. Wild mint releases its fresh scent when we brush against it, while patches of wild watercress show bright green against the autumn browns and golds. Even here, beside the life-giving water, autumn's influence is evident in the yellowing of grasses and the way morning frost has touched the edges of broader leaves with delicate white lacework. As our journey continues along this peaceful waterway, we notice how the forest changes character with each turn of the path. In some places, the trees grow closer together, creating intimate groves where the leaf litter lies thick and undisturbed. These areas hold a deeper quiet, as if the closely packed trees are sharing whispered secrets among themselves. In other spots, the forest opens into small meadows where wildflowers still bloom in defiance of the advancing season, their purple asters and goldenrod creating splashes of colour among the drying grasses. The beauty of walking through an autumn forest lies not just in the grand displays of colour, but in these countless small details that reveal themselves to those who take the time to truly see. The way a spider's web catches the morning dew and transforms it into a string of diamonds. The gentle way fallen leaves settle into natural arrangements that seem almost deliberate in their artistry. The soft moss that cushions every step and muffles sound, creating pockets of perfect silence where even the stream's gentle murmur fades to the barest whisper. Here in this peaceful sanctuary, surrounded by the quiet magnificence of autumn's gentle transformation, we find ourselves naturally slowing down. Our breathing deepens and becomes more regular. Our shoulders relax as the forest's calm energy seeps into our being. The worries and tensions that might have followed us into this place begin to dissolve like morning mist, touched by the first rays of sun. The forest offers no demands, no schedules to keep, no urgent messages requiring immediate attention. Instead, it extends an invitation to simply be present in this moment, to feel the soft earth beneath our feet and breathe in the rich, complex air that speaks of cycles far older and grander than our daily concerns. In this space, we remember what it feels like to move at nature's pace, to find peace in the simple act of placing one foot in front of the other, along a path that has welcomed countless other travelers seeking the same gentle refuge. As we round another bend in the trail, the afternoon light begins to take on the warmer, more golden quality that comes as the sun travels lower in the sky. The autumn leaves seem to glow with an inner fire, their colors deepening and becoming even more vibrant in this softer light. This golden hour light transforms the forest into something almost ethereal, where every surface touched by the sun's rays seems to pulse with warmth and life. The bark of birch trees glows like polished copper, while their remaining leaves flutter like tiny golden coins in the gentle breeze. Even the fallen logs that lie across our path appear touched by magic, their weathered surfaces highlighting the intricate patterns carved by time and weather into living sculptures. We pause for a moment beside a particularly magnificent oak tree, its massive trunk easily wide enough that several people holding hands could barely encircle it. The deep furrows in its bark tell stories of countless seasons, while its spreading branches create a natural umbrella above our heads. Some of its leaves have already begun their descent, drifting down in lazy spirals that seem to dance with invisible currents of air. Others cling steadfastly to their branches, their edges curled and crisp, holding on for just a few more days of connection to the tree that gave them life. The forest floor around this ancient oak is particularly rich with fallen treasures. Acorns lie scattered like nature's own confetti, some still wearing their caps, while others have rolled free to reveal their polished brown surfaces. These small gifts from the tree will feed countless creatures through the coming winter months, each one carrying within it the potential for new life when spring returns. Chipmunks and squirrels have already begun their harvest, their busy preparations evident in the small caches of nuts tucked into hollow logs and beneath protective rocks. As we continue our peaceful journey, the path leads us through a grove of beech trees whose leaves have turned a warm golden brown but still cling to their branches with remarkable tenacity. These leaves will often hold on through much of the winter, creating a gentle rustling sound whenever the wind moves through them. The smooth, grey bark of the beech trees feels almost warm to the touch, and carved into some of the older trunks are initials and hearts left by lovers from decades past, now healed over and incorporated into the tree's own growing story. The understory here is carpeted with beech leaves that crackle softly underfoot, each step releasing the rich, nutty scent that these trees are known for. Small beech nuts lie hidden among the leaves, another source of nourishment for the forest's inhabitants. Everything about this grove speaks of abundance and preparation, of nature's wisdom in providing for all her children as the year moves toward its quieter months. Moving beyond the beech grove, we find ourselves in an area where maple trees predominate, their five-pointed leaves creating one of autumn's most spectacular displays. These trees seem to compete with each other in their brilliance, some blazing in pure scarlet while others glow in shades of orange so intense they seem to generate their own light. A few still show traces of green at their centers, creating leaves that graduate through multiple colors like nature's own watercolor paintings. The maples stand at various heights, creating layers of color that extend from the forest floor to the highest branches. Young saplings, barely taller than a person, contribute their own small flames to the overall display, while towering giants spread their colored canopies like vast umbrellas overhead. When the wind moves through these trees, the sound is like gentle applause, thousands of leaves rustling together in appreciation of their own magnificent transformation. Beneath the maples, the leaf litter is particularly deep and soft, creating a natural carpet that seems designed for peaceful walking. Each step sinks slightly into this organic cushion, making our passage nearly silent and adding to the dreamlike quality of our forest journey. The decomposing leaves below are already beginning their transformation back into soil, feeding the very trees that created them in an endless cycle of giving and renewal that has continued for countless generations. As the afternoon progresses, we notice subtle changes in the forest's rhythm and mood. The light continues to deepen, taking on the rich, honey-colored quality that photographers call the golden hour. Shadows grow longer, stretching across the path in gentle patterns that shift and change as leaves move overhead. The air begins to carry just the faintest hint of evening coolness, a reminder that autumn days, however beautiful, are growing shorter with each passing week. In this changing light, we come upon a small clearing where a few apple trees grow wild, their branches heavy with fruit that has been left for the forest creatures to enjoy. Some apples still hang from the branches, their red and yellow skins glowing like ornaments against the darkening leaves. Others have fallen to the ground, where they slowly release their sweet fragrance into the air, attracting the last late butterflies of the season and providing sustenance for deer and other woodland visitors. The clearing feels like a secret garden, a place where cultivated and wild have blended into something entirely natural and peaceful. Wild grapevines drape themselves over nearby trees, their leaves now turn deep purple and burgundy, while clusters of small, dark grapes hang temptingly within reach. These native grapes have a tartness that speaks of wild places and untamed growth, quite different from their domestic cousins, but beautiful in their own honest way. Around the edges of the clearing, sumac bushes display their autumn glory in brilliant reds and oranges, their compound leaves creating feathery patterns that catch and hold the changing light. These resilient plants thrive in the transitional spaces where forest meets field, their vibrant colors serving as beacons that can be seen from considerable distances. Even now, in the fading afternoon light, they seem to glow with an inner fire that speaks of life's persistent joy in expressing itself through beauty. The path winds on, leading us past a fallen giant, an ancient tree that has completed its life cycle and now lies across our way like a natural bridge. Its trunk, easily as tall as a person even lying on its side, has become a nursery for new life. Moss covers much of its surface in soft green velvet, while tiny seedlings have taken root in the rich soil that has collected in its crevices. Ferns unfurl from the spaces between its roots, and small wildflowers bloom in the extra light that reaches the forest floor, now that this great tree no longer casts its shadow. This fallen patriarch reminds us that even in endings, there are new beginnings. Its slow return to the earth will feed countless other plants and creatures, its nutrients cycling back into the forest ecosystem that sustained it for perhaps centuries. There's something profoundly peaceful about witnessing this natural process, this gentle reminder that life and death are simply different phases of the same eternal dance. As we carefully step over the moss-covered trunk, We notice how the forest continues to reveal new wonders with each turn of the path. A family of mushrooms has appeared seemingly overnight on a rotting stump, their caps glowing pale gold in the filtered light. These small but perfect fungi represent another aspect of the forest's endless creativity, its ability to find beauty and purpose in every corner and condition. The evening breeze picks up slightly, setting the leaves above us into gentle motion that creates an ever-changing pattern of light and shadow on the forest floor. This movement brings with it the sound that autumn forests are famous for. That soft susurrus of leaves brushing against each other in whispered conversations that seem to carry the secrets of the season. Our peaceful journey continues as the light grows ever more golden, transforming the forest into a cathedral of warmth and color, where every step brings new moments of quiet wonder and deep, restful calm. The path curves gently to the right, following what must once have been a deer trail that has widened over time through the passage of countless feet, both human and animal. Here the forest takes on a different character, more open and airy, with towering hickory trees spacing themselves generously apart, as if they understand the value of giving each other room to display their autumn finery. Their compound leaves have turned the most delicate shade of butter yellow, and when the wind catches them just right, they flutter like prayer flags celebrating the season's quiet transformation. Between these stately hickories, smaller dogwood trees have claimed their own spaces, their oval leaves now painted in deep purples and burgundies that seem almost royal against the golden backdrop. The contrast is striking yet harmonious, like a master painter's carefully chosen palette brought to life on nature's canvas. Some of these dogwood leaves have already begun their gentle descent, creating small pools of color on the forest floor that catch our eye and invite us to pause and appreciate their simple beauty. As we walk through this more open section of forest, the afternoon sun finds more opportunities to reach us directly, sending down shafts of warm golden light that feel like gentle benedictions on our shoulders and faces. These sunbeams illuminate tiny particles of pollen and microscopic bits of leaf matter that dance in the air like fairy dust, creating an almost magical atmosphere that seems to slow time itself. In these moments, breathing becomes a conscious pleasure, each inhalation bringing with it the rich, complex fragrance of a forest in full autumn glory. The sound of our footsteps changes here, becoming softer and more muffled as we walk across a thick carpet of fallen hickory nuts, mixed with the remains of countless leaves. These nuts, with their hard shells and rich kernels, represent another of the forest's generous gifts to its inhabitants. Already we can see evidence of the busy preparations happening all around us as various creatures gather these treasures for the leaner months ahead. Small holes in the earth mark places where squirrels have buried their precious hoards, while scattered shell fragments show where others have already enjoyed nature's bounty. The path begins to descend slightly, following the natural slope of the land toward what sounds like another small stream somewhere ahead. As we walk downhill, the character of the forest changes once again. Here, where moisture collects and lingers, different trees have claimed their territory. Tulip trees, magnificent in their height and bearing, display their distinctively shaped leaves, now dressed in the brightest golden yellow imaginable. These leaves, with their unique four-lobed shape, catch the light in a way that makes them seem almost luminescent, as if they were lit from within by their own gentle fire. The tulip trees tower above most of their neighbors, their straight trunks reaching skyward with an elegance that speaks of their desire to touch the clouds themselves. Some of these giants are so tall that their uppermost branches disappear into the forest canopy, creating natural cathedrals whose vaulted ceilings seem to extend infinitely upward. When the wind moves through these heights, it creates a sound like distant ocean waves, a gentle whooshing that adds another layer to the forest's peaceful symphony. Beneath these towering sentinels, the understory has taken on a lush quality that speaks of the extra moisture available in this part of the forest. Ferns that were beginning to yellow and fade in the drier areas we passed earlier here remain vibrant and green, their fronds creating delicate patterns against the warm-colored backdrop of fallen leaves. Wild ginger plants spread their heart-shaped leaves across the forest floor like nature's own ground cover, while patches of wild violet leaves show the deep green that promises spring flowers when the season turns once again. The sound of moving water grows clearer as we continue our descent, and soon we find ourselves beside another woodland stream, this one slightly larger than the first we encountered. The water moves with a gentle urgency here, creating small rapids where it flows over and around moss-covered rocks that have tumbled into its path over countless years. The sound is musical and soothing, a liquid lullaby that seems designed to calm even the most restless spirit. Along this stream's banks, sycamore trees have established themselves, their distinctive mottled bark creating a patchwork of cream, grey and brown that looks almost like natural camouflage. The sycamore's large, broad leaves have turned various shades of yellow and brown, and many have already fallen to create natural boats that float gently downstream, carrying with them the essence of autumn to whatever distant places this water eventually reaches. We follow the stream for a while, walking along its banks where the path has been worn smooth by generations of visitors, both human and animal. Here and there, we notice the delicate tracks of raccoons pressed into the soft mud beside the water, evidence of nighttime visitors who come to drink and perhaps to wash their food in the stream's clean, cold water. The sight of these tracks reminds us that we are temporary guests in a world that continues its ancient rhythms, whether we are present to witness them or not. The stream creates its own microclimate along its banks, where the extra moisture and the cooling effect of the moving water have allowed different plants to flourish. Wild mint grows in abundance here, releasing its fresh, clean scent whenever our passage brushes against its leaves. Small clusters of late-blooming asters add unexpected touches of purple to the warm autumn palette, their star-shaped flowers proving that beauty can emerge even as the year moves toward its quieter months. Across the stream, connected by a simple log bridge worn smooth by weather and use, the path continues into a grove of sweet gum trees that presents one of autumn's most spectacular displays. These trees, with their distinctive star-shaped leaves, have turned every shade imaginable from pale yellow through bright orange to deep burgundy and purple. Some trees display all these colors simultaneously, creating living rainbows that seem almost too beautiful to be real. The sweet gums stand close together here, creating an intimate space where the autumn light filters down through multiple layers of colored leaves to create an ever-changing pattern of warm hues on the forest floor. Walking through this grove feels like moving through a living kaleidoscope, where every step reveals new combinations of color and light that shift and change with each passing cloud or breath of wind. Beneath these rainbow trees, the ground is carpeted with their fallen star-shaped leaves, creating a natural mosaic that crunches pleasantly underfoot. Mixed among the leaves are the sweet gum's distinctive seed pods, spiky round balls that have earned them the nickname gumballs from generations of children who have played with these natural toys. These seed pods, though perhaps not as immediately beautiful as the leaves, represent another aspect of the tree's generous contribution to the forest ecosystem. The path winds through this colorful grove and then opens into a small meadow where the forest has stepped back to allow grasses and wildflowers their moment in the sun. Here, the autumn light falls unfiltered, creating a space that feels warm and welcoming, despite the season's advancing coolness. The meadow is dominated by tall native grasses that have turned golden brown and sway gently in the breeze like wheat in a farmer's field, their seed heads catching the light and creating the illusion of movement even in the stillest air. Scattered throughout this meadow, the last wildflowers of the season continue their brave display. Golden asters create small suns of yellow throughout the grass, while purple ironweed stands tall and proud, its deep violet flowers providing a striking contrast to the warm tones that dominate the landscape. Here and there, the white flowers of late-blooming boneset add gentle accents to the scene, their clusters of small blossoms creating delicate points of light against the darker background of the surrounding forest edge. The meadow feels like a place of pause and reflection, a natural stopping point where the forest invites us to rest and simply absorb the beauty that surrounds us on all sides. The warm afternoon sun feels good on our faces here, while the gentle breeze carries with it the mixed fragrances of drying grass, late flowers, and the rich earth that supports this entire living community. From this open space, we can see back into the forest we have just traversed, its layers of autumn color visible now from a different perspective. The various trees we have walked among reveal themselves as part of a greater tapestry, each contributing its own thread to the overall pattern of the season. The golden hickories, brilliant maples, towering tulip trees, and rainbow sweet gums all blend together into a symphony of color that seems to pulse with its own gentle rhythm. As we prepare to continue our peaceful journey, leaving this sun-warmed meadow behind and returning to the cool shade of the forest, we carry with us the memory of this moment of perfect autumn stillness. The meadow has given us a gift, a pause in our walking that allows us to appreciate not just the individual trees and plants we encounter, but the way they all work together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. The path leads us back under the canopy, where the late afternoon light has taken on an even warmer, more golden quality. Here, among a mixed stand of oak and maple trees, the forest floor is particularly thick with fallen leaves that rustle and whisper with each step. The sound is deeply satisfying, a percussion section accompanying the gentle wind symphony playing in the branches overhead. These oak trees, with their distinctive lobed leaves now dressed in shades of brown, russet, and deep gold, stand like ancient guardians of the forest's wisdom. Their thick trunks and spreading branches speak of decades or perhaps centuries of patient growth, of seasons weathered and survived, of countless small changes witnessed and absorbed into their very fiber. Some of these oaks still hold most of their leaves, while others have begun the gradual process of release that will continue well into the winter months. The maples interspersed among the oaks provide brilliant counterpoints of orange and red to the oak's more subdued tones. These trees seem to embody autumn's joyful spirit, their colors so vibrant they appear to generate their own light even in the filtered sunshine beneath the canopy. When a gentle breeze moves through their branches, the leaves flutter and dance like living flames, creating a display that never fails to inspire wonder at nature's artistic capabilities. As the afternoon light continues to deepen and warm, taking on the rich honey tones that photographers treasure, our peaceful forest walk continues to unfold like a gentle meditation on the beauty of change and the wisdom of natural rhythms. Each turn of the path brings new moments of quiet wonder, new opportunities to slow down and remember what it means to move at nature's unhurried pace through a world painted in the soft, warm colors of autumn's generous embrace. As we continue deeper into this autumn sanctuary, the forest reveals yet another of its many moods. Here, where ancient white ash trees have claimed their territory, the canopy takes on a softer quality, their compound leaves now transformed into delicate shades of pale yellow and cream, filter the golden light into something almost ethereal. These leaves seem to glow from within, creating pockets of luminescence that dance and shift as clouds drift across the autumn sky above. The white ash trees stand with a quiet dignity that speaks of their important role in this woodland community. Their straight trunks rise like pillars in a natural cathedral, while their high branches create graceful arches overhead. The bark of these trees tells its own story through subtle patterns of ridges and furrows that have deepened with age, creating abstract art pieces that invite closer inspection and quiet contemplation. Beneath these towering ashes, the forest floor has taken on a particularly soft quality. Years of falling leaves have created a deep, spongy carpet that seems designed for peaceful walking. Each step releases the gentle fragrance of decomposition and renewal, that rich earth scent that speaks of cycles older than memory. Small mushrooms have appeared in fairy rings among the leaf litter, their caps glowing pale gold and cream in the filtered light, adding touches of unexpected beauty to the forest floor. The path curves gently through this ash grove, following the natural contours of the land with the easy grace of water finding its way downhill. Here and there, fallen branches create natural stepping stones across small depressions where rainwater has collected, forming tiny mirrors that reflect the colored canopy above. These small pools, barely larger than puddles, have become miniature ecosystems where water striders dance across the surface and fallen leaves float like tiny boats carrying messages from the trees above. As we walk through this peaceful grove, the afternoon light continues its slow transformation, deepening from gold to amber as the sun travels lower in the western sky. This changing light brings out new depths in the autumn colors surrounding us, making the pale yellows of the ash leaves seem to pulse with gentle warmth while casting longer, softer shadows that stretch across our path like nature's own welcome mat. The sound of our footsteps mingles harmoniously with the other gentle voices of the autumn forest. Somewhere high above, a red squirrel chatters briefly before falling silent, while the soft percussion of our feet against the leaf-covered ground creates a rhythm that seems to match the peaceful beating of our own hearts. The wind moves through the ash trees with a particular grace, creating whispers rather than the louder rustling we heard among the maples and oaks, as if these trees understand the value of quiet conversation. Moving beyond the ash grove, the path leads us into a section of forest where black walnut trees have established their presence. These magnificent trees, with their compound leaves now dressed in bright golden yellow, create their own distinctive atmosphere. The walnuts themselves lie scattered across the ground in their thick green hulls, some already blackened by exposure to air and weather. The rich, earthy scent of these hulls adds another layer to the complex perfume of the autumn forest, a fragrance both sharp and sweet that speaks of abundance and preparation for the winter ahead. The black walnut trees stand with an imposing presence that commands respect and admiration. Their deeply furrowed bark creates dramatic patterns of light and shadow, while their broad canopies filter the afternoon light into ever-changing patterns on the forest floor below. These trees have a way of creating natural clearings around themselves, as their roots release compounds that discourage some other plants from growing too close, resulting in more open spaces, carpeted primarily with their own golden leaves. In these open areas beneath the walnut trees, we find perfect spots for pausing and simply breathing in the peace of the autumn forest. The extra light that reaches the ground here illuminates every detail with crystalline clarity, from the intricate patterns of individual leaves to the delicate architecture of spider webs that stretch between low branches. Time seems to slow in these natural clearings, inviting us to linger and absorb the quiet energy that emanates from these ancient trees. The path continues its gentle meander, leading us past a small grove of American chestnut saplings that represent hope and renewal in the forest ecosystem. These young trees, with their long serrated leaves now turned warm yellow gold, stand as symbols of resilience and the forest's ability to heal and regenerate. Though their ancestors once dominated these woodlands, these new generations carry forward the species' legacy, their very presence a testament to nature's persistence and the careful work of those who tend and protect these wild places. Among these chestnuts, wild cherry trees add their own contribution to the autumn display. Their oval leaves have turned a deep burgundy that appears almost black in the shadows, but glows like wine when touched by direct sunlight. The bark of these cherry trees catches the eye with its distinctive horizontal markings, creating natural calligraphy that tells the story of each tree's growth through changing seasons and varying conditions. As the afternoon progresses toward evening, we find ourselves in a section of forest where basswood trees create their own peaceful kingdom. These trees, also known as American linden, display their heart-shaped leaves in soft shades of pale yellow that seem to capture and hold the changing light. The basswood leaves have a particular way of moving in the breeze, turning and twisting to show both their lighter undersides and darker tops, creating a constantly shifting display that mesmerizes and soothes the watching eye. The basswood trees possess a gentle presence that perfectly matches the contemplative mood of our autumn walk. Their smooth grey bark feels almost soft to the touch, while their broadly spreading branches create natural umbrellas that provide shelter and shade. The leaves of these trees seem to whisper secrets when the wind moves through them, creating sounds that are more like gentle sighs than the sharper rustling of other species. Beneath the basewoods, the forest floor reveals new treasures for those who take the time to look closely. Wild ginseng plants, now dressed in their autumn yellow, hide among the leaf litter like forest jewels waiting to be discovered. Their distinctive three-part leaves and bright red berries create small moments of wonder for the observant walker. Reminders that even in this season of apparent ending, life continues its mysterious processes of growth and renewal. The path curves around a massive boulder that has somehow found its way to this forest floor, perhaps carried here by glaciers in some distant ice age, or simply revealed by countless seasons of erosion wearing away the surrounding soil. This ancient stone has become a focal point for the forest community, with moss covering its surface in soft green velvet and small ferns growing from cracks in its weathered surface. The boulder creates its own microclimate, with cooler, moister conditions on its north side that support different plants than those thriving in the warmer, drier areas nearby. We pause beside this stone sentinel, using its broad, moss-covered surface as a natural bench where we can rest and absorb the peaceful energy of our surroundings. From this vantage point, the autumn forest reveals itself as a living tapestry woven from countless individual threads, each tree and plant contributing its own color and texture to the overall pattern. The view encompasses layers upon layers of autumn beauty, from the rich carpet of fallen leaves at our feet to the golden canopy stretching overhead like a ceiling painted by the most skilled artist. The late afternoon light has taken on an almost magical quality now, slanting through the trees at angles that seem designed to showcase every beautiful detail of the autumn forest. Individual leaves appear to glow like stained glass windows, while the bark of trees takes on warm, honey-colored tones that seem to radiate their own gentle heat. Even the air itself seems touched by gold, creating an atmosphere that feels both substantial and dreamlike at the same time. As we rise from our stone seat and continue along the winding path, the forest begins to show signs of the approaching evening. The light grows warmer and more horizontal, creating longer shadows that stretch across our way, like dark ribbons woven through the golden carpet of leaves. The temperature starts to carry just the faintest hint of coolness, a gentle reminder that autumn days, however beautiful, are growing shorter, and that winter's quiet season waits patiently just beyond the horizon. The path leads us into a grove of American elm trees, their distinctive, vase-shaped forms creating natural archways overhead. These elms, survivors in a landscape where their species has faced many challenges, stand with particular grace and dignity. Their leaves have turned a soft butter yellow that seems to capture the essence of autumn sunlight and hold it suspended in living form. When the breeze moves through these trees, their leaves flutter with a particular delicacy that creates dancing shadows on the forest floor below. The elm grove has an almost park-like quality, with the trees spaced naturally apart to create a sense of openness while still maintaining the intimate feeling of being embraced by the forest. Here, wild asters bloom in abundance, their purple flowers creating small galaxies of color among the warm golden tones that dominate the landscape. These late-season wildflowers seem to understand that their time is precious, blooming with an intensity that speaks of autumn's particular gift for concentrated beauty. Among the asters, goldenrod plants wave their bright yellow plumes in the gentle breeze, adding another layer of gold to the forest's autumn palette. These hardy wildflowers thrive in the transitional spaces where forest meets field, their cheerful colors providing food for the last butterflies of the season and creating splashes of brightness that lift the spirit and warm the heart. The path continues its peaceful meandering, leading us past a small seasonal pond that has formed in a natural depression where spring rains and autumn showers collect. This temporary water feature has become a gathering place for the forest community, with animal tracks of various sizes pressed into the soft mud around its edges. The water itself reflects the autumn canopy like a mirror, doubling the beauty of the colored leaves and creating the illusion that we are walking through a world where earth and sky have somehow merged into one continuous tapestry of warmth and light. Cattails grow along the pond's marshy edges, their brown seed heads swaying gently in the breeze like nature's own metronomes keeping time with the forest's peaceful rhythm. Wild ricegrass adds its own golden contribution to the scene, while patches of arrow-shaped leaves show where duck potato plants have claimed their underwater territory. Even this temporary pond supports its own complete ecosystem, reminding us that nature finds ways to create life and beauty in every available space. As we round the pond and continue along the forest path, the late afternoon light begins to take on the warm, honeyed quality that photographers call the golden hour. This magical time of day transforms every surface it touches, turning ordinary bark into burnished copper, fallen leaves into scattered gems, and the very air itself into something that seems almost tangible in its golden richness. The path leads us upward now, following a gentle slope that takes us higher into the forest canopy. Here, where the drainage is better and the soil slightly different, a new community of trees has established itself. Paper birch trees stand like white beacons among their darker neighbors, their distinctive bark peeling in curls and strips that flutter gently in the breeze. The leaves of these birches have turned the most delicate shade of butter yellow, creating a soft, luminous quality that seems to glow even in the filtered light beneath the canopy. The paper birches create their own particular atmosphere in the forest, their white trunks serving as natural landmarks that help orient us along the winding path. Some of these trees grow in clusters, their multiple trunks rising from shared root systems to create natural groves that feel both intimate and spacious at the same time. The bark of paper birches tells its own story through the patterns of its peeling, each tree wearing its age and experience in the curls and strips that catch the light and create ever-changing patterns of white and shadow. Among the birches, wild serviceberry bushes display their autumn colors in brilliant shades of orange and red. These understory plants have already dropped their small, dark berries, which now dot the forest floor like scattered beads, providing food for the many creatures who call this forest home. The serviceberry leaves seem to glow with an inner fire, their colors so intense they appear almost artificial in their perfection. The forest continues to reveal new layers of beauty as we climb higher along the gentle slope. Here, where the soil is rockier and the drainage more pronounced, mountain ash trees have found their niche. These smaller trees, with their compound leaves now turned golden yellow, create delicate patterns against the darker background of evergreen trees that begin to appear as we gain elevation. The mountain ash trees still hold clusters of bright orange berries, creating beautiful color combinations that seem almost too perfect to occur naturally. Mixed among the deciduous trees, we begin to encounter the first evergreens of our journey. Tall white pines reach toward the sky with their distinctive layered branches, while smaller hemlocks add touches of deep green to the increasingly complex forest canopy. These evergreen trees provide important contrast to the warm colors of autumn, their steady green presence serving as a reminder that life continues, even as the deciduous trees prepare for their season of rest. The path levels out as we reach a small plateau, where an ancient sugar maple stands in solitary splendor at the center of a natural clearing. This magnificent tree, easily centuries old, displays autumn colors so brilliant they seem to generate their own light. Its massive trunk and spreading branches create a natural cathedral, while its five-pointed leaves range from pure gold at the top of the canopy to deep orange and red lower down, creating a living rainbow that takes our breath away with its simple perfection. Beneath this grandfather maple, the forest floor is carpeted with fallen leaves in every shade imaginable. The thick layer of maple leaves creates a natural cushion that seems designed for peaceful sitting and quiet contemplation. Here, in the presence of this ancient tree, time seems to slow even further, creating space for deep breathing and the kind of rest that reaches into the very core of our being. The clearing around the old maple provides a perfect vantage point for observing the forest's autumn transformation from a new perspective. From here, we can see how the different tree species have arranged themselves across the landscape, each finding its own perfect niche in the complex community that makes up this woodland ecosystem. The view encompasses layer upon layer of autumn color, creating a visual symphony that speaks to something deep within the human spirit. As the sun continues its journey toward the western horizon, the light in the forest takes on an even warmer, more intimate quality. The golden rays that filter through the canopy seem to caress every surface they touch, creating an atmosphere of perfect peace and contentment that settles over our forest sanctuary like a gentle blessing. In this magical light, surrounded by the quiet magnificence of autumn's transformation, we find ourselves naturally slowing our breathing and opening our hearts to the profound calm that emanates from these ancient trees and their timeless wisdom, Iles wisdom. Our peaceful journey continues as the evening light grows ever softer, painting the forest in tones so warm they seem to wrap around us like a gentle embrace. The path winds away from the ancient maples clearing, leading us through a grove of black cherry trees whose leaves have transformed into deep burgundy tapestries that shimmer with wine-dark beauty in the fading light. These trees stand with quiet elegance, their smooth bark marked by the distinctive horizontal lines that tell stories of seasons past, while their remaining leaves catch the evening breeze and release it with soft sighs that blend into the forest's growing twilight symphony. The air has taken on that particular quality of autumn evenings, crisp enough to awaken the senses yet still holding warmth from the day's gentle sun. Each breath carries with it the complex bouquet of the forest's seasonal transformation, layers of fragrance that speak of fallen leaves slowly returning to earth, of late wildflowers releasing their final perfumes into the cooling air, and of the rich, loamy soil that forms the foundation of this entire living community. There's something almost wine-like about this evening air, aged and mellowed by the slow processes of nature's eternal cycles. As we follow the path deeper into the forest's evening embrace, the trees around us begin to reveal themselves in new ways as the light continues to change. The black cherries give way to a mixed grove where red maples stand like glowing embers among darker neighbours. These red maples, true to their name, display colours so intense they seem to burn with their own inner fire even as the daylight begins to fade. Their three-lobed leaves range from brilliant scarlet to deep crimson, creating living flames that dance with every whisper of wind. Among these fiery maples, white oak trees provide grounding presence with their more subdued but no less beautiful autumn display. The white oak's rounded leaves have turned warm shades of brown and russet, their colours speaking of earth and stability, of deep roots and patient endurance. These mighty trees, with their characteristic broad, spreading crowns, create natural umbrellas beneath which smaller plants have found shelter and sustenance throughout the growing season. The understory here reveals autumn's gifts in miniature, with wild azalea bushes displaying leaves that have turned shades of yellow and orange so delicate they seem almost transparent in the evening light. Small dogwood trees contribute their own autumn artistry, their oval leaves now painted in deep purples and burgundies that create striking contrasts against the lighter colours surrounding them. Even the smallest plants participate in this seasonal celebration, with wild strawberry leaves showing touches of red among their green, and patches of wild columbine displaying foliage that has taken on soft golden tones. The path begins to descend again, following the natural flow of the land toward what sounds like another gentle stream somewhere ahead. As we walk downhill, the forest canopy grows denser, creating a more intimate atmosphere where the remaining daylight filters down through multiple layers of coloured leaves to reach us in soft, diffused rays. The temperature here feels slightly cooler, moderated by the extra moisture that collects in these lower areas and by the protective embrace of the closely growing trees. Here in this sheltered valley, different species have claimed their territory. American basswood trees rise with their distinctive heart-shaped leaves, now dressed in the softest yellow imaginable. Their colour so gentle, it seems to glow with captured sunlight, even in the forest's growing shadows. These basswoods have a particular grace about them, their smooth grey bark and spreading branches, creating trees that seem designed for peaceful contemplation and quiet rest. Mixed among the basewoods, tulip trees tower toward the evening sky with their uniquely shaped leaves now transformed into living gold. These magnificent trees, some reaching heights that seem to brush the clouds themselves, display their four-lobed leaves like natural banners celebrating autumn's arrival. When the evening breeze moves through their upper branches, it creates sounds like gentle applause, as if the forest itself were celebrating the beauty of this peaceful moment. The sound of water grows clearer as we continue our descent, and soon we find ourselves beside a creek that moves with unhurried grace through this sheltered part of the forest. The water here runs deeper and slower than the streams we encountered earlier, its surface creating perfect mirrors that reflect the autumn canopy above in still, clear images that seem almost too beautiful to disturb. Fallen leaves drift on the gentle current like nature's own boats, carrying messages from the trees to whatever distant places this water eventually reaches. Along the creek's banks, a different plant community thrives in the extra moisture and protection provided by the flowing water. Ostrich ferns, still green despite the advancing season, unfurl their graceful fronds in perfect symmetry, creating natural sculptures that catch and hold the evening light. Wild ginger plants spread their heart-shaped leaves like living carpets along the water's edge, while patches of jewelweed display their translucent stems and delicate flowers that seem to glow from within. The path follows the creek for a considerable distance, winding along its banks where the walking becomes even softer thanks to the rich, moist soil that supports this streamside ecosystem. Here, willows have found their perfect home, their narrow leaves now turned pale gold, creating graceful curtains that sway gently in the evening breeze. Some of these willows lean out over the water, their drooping branches nearly touching the surface and creating natural bridges where small creatures can move between the water and the land. As the evening light continues to deepen, taking on the rich amber quality that transforms everything it touches, we come upon a small waterfall where the creek drops over a series of moss-covered rocks. The sound of falling water adds another voice to the forest's evening chorus, a liquid music that seems designed to calm the spirit and ease the mind into deeper states of peace and relaxation. The waterfall creates its own microclimate, with tiny droplets of spray catching the last rays of sunlight to create brief, rainbow-like prisms in the air. Around this small cascade, the plant life becomes even more lush and varied. Maidenhair ferns grow in the constant mist, their delicate fronds creating intricate patterns that seem almost too perfect to occur naturally. Wild mint releases its fresh fragrance whenever we brush against it, while small clusters of late-blooming cardinal flower add unexpected touches of brilliant red to the predominantly golden and green palette of this sheltered spot. The path crosses the creek here via a simple bridge made from a fallen log that has been worn smooth by weather and countless footsteps. As we carefully make our way across this natural bridge, the evening air carries with it the sound of the water flowing beneath our feet and the gentle rustle of leaves overhead. The crossing feels almost ceremonial, as if we were moving from one chapter of our forest journey to another, leaving behind the warmth of the afternoon for the deeper, more contemplative peace of evening. On the far side of the creek, the path leads us into a grove of American chestnut trees, young specimens that represent hope and renewal in the forest ecosystem. These trees, with their long serrated leaves now turned warm yellow gold, stand as symbols of resilience and nature's endless capacity for healing and regeneration. Their presence here speaks of careful tending and patient hope, of people who understand the value of looking toward the future while honoring the wisdom of the past. The chestnut grove has an almost sacred quality in the evening light, with the young trees creating natural columns that support a canopy of gold and amber. The forest floor here is carpeted with their fallen leaves, creating a thick, soft surface that muffles sound and seems to absorb the last light of day into its warm embrace. Walking through this grove feels like moving through a living cathedral where every element has been arranged for maximum peace and beauty. Beyond the chestnuts, we encounter a stand of hickory trees whose compound leaves have turned the most delicate shade of butter yellow. These trees, with their distinctive shaggy bark and graceful branching patterns, create their own particular atmosphere in the forest. The hickory leaves seem to capture and hold the evening light, glowing softly even as shadows begin to gather beneath the canopy. When the breeze moves through these trees, their leaves rustle with a sound like gentle rain, adding another layer to the forest's evening lullaby. The nuts from these hickory trees lie scattered across the forest floor like nature's own treasure, their hard shells protecting the rich kernels within. Evidence of the forest's busy inhabitants can be seen everywhere, from the small holes where squirrels have buried their winter stores to the scattered shell fragments that mark places where other creatures have already enjoyed these nutritious gifts from the trees. As the sun continues its journey toward the western horizon, the forest light takes on an even warmer, more golden quality that seems to emanate from within the trees themselves. Individual leaves appear to glow like tiny lanterns, while the bark of trees takes on honey-colored tones that seem to radiate gentle warmth. The very air seems touched by gold, creating an atmosphere that feels both substantial and dreamlike, real and magical at the same time. The path curves through a section of forest where sugar maples have claimed dominance, their brilliant colors creating one of autumn's most spectacular displays. These trees seem to compete with each other in their magnificence, some blazing in pure gold, while others display shades of orange and red so intense they appear to generate their own light. The sugar maples create a canopy so brilliant it seems almost artificial in its perfection. Yet every leaf and branch speaks of nature's unending creativity and generous spirit. Beneath these blazing maples, the forest floor becomes a carpet of unimaginable beauty. Layers upon layers of fallen leaves create a natural tapestry in every shade of gold, orange, and red imaginable. Each step releases the sweet, spicy fragrance that maple leaves are known for, while the soft rustling sound of our passage mingles with the gentle percussion of leaves continuing to fall from the branches above. It's as if we're walking through a living snow globe filled with golden flakes that drift down in lazy spirals whenever the evening breeze stirs the branches overhead. The maple grove extends for quite some distance, creating a tunnel of color through which the path winds like a golden thread. Here and there, gaps in the canopy allow shafts of the evening's warm light to penetrate to the forest floor, illuminating small clearings where late-blooming asters add touches of purple to the warm palette. These wildflowers seem to understand that their time is precious, blooming with an intensity that speaks of autumn's particular gift for concentrated beauty. As we emerge from the maple tunnel, the path leads us to a small rise where a mixed community of trees has created one of the forest's most peaceful gathering places. Here, white ash trees mingle with red oaks and black walnuts to form a natural amphitheater where the evening light pools like liquid gold among the tree trunks. The different species seem to complement each other perfectly, their varied leaf shapes and colors creating a tapestry of such beauty that it takes the breath away. The white ash trees contribute their own special grace to this forest gathering, their compound leaves now transformed into delicate yellow-green fountains that seem to capture the essence of sunlight itself. These trees have a particular elegance in their growth pattern, their straight trunks and symmetrical branching, creating natural architecture that speaks of order and balance in the forest community. The red oaks add their own stately presence to the scene, their distinctive lobed leaves now dressed in shades of brown and russet that speak of earth and stability. These mighty trees, with their massive trunks and spreading crowns, have clearly been guardians of this forest space for many decades. Their acorns lie scattered beneath their branches, like offerings to the woodland creatures who depend on these nutritious gifts for their winter survival. The black walnut trees complete this forest trinity with their own unique contributions. Their compound leaves have turned bright golden yellow, creating bursts of light among their darker neighbors, while their distinctive nuts lie scattered across the forest floor in their thick green hulls. The rich, earthy scent of these hulls adds another layer to the complex perfume of the evening forest, a fragrance both sharp and sweet that speaks of abundance and the approaching season of rest. In this natural amphitheater, surrounded by the quiet majesty of these ancient trees, we find the perfect place to pause and absorb the full impact of our autumn forest journey. The evening light has reached that magical quality that photographers treasure, when everything touched by the sun's rays seems to glow with inner fire. The air has cooled just enough to feel refreshing against our skin, while still holding enough warmth to comfort and embrace us. From this elevated position, we can look back over the path we have traveled, seeing how it winds through different communities of trees like a golden thread connecting various chapters of the forest's story. Each grove we have passed through has contributed its own character to our journey, from the bright maples to the stately oaks, from the graceful birches to the towering tulip trees. Together, they create a symphony of color and texture that speaks to something deep within the human spirit. The sounds of the evening forest begin to emerge as the day's warmth gives way to the cooler, quieter energy of approaching night. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls softly, its voice carrying through the still air like a gentle benediction. The rustle of small creatures moving through the leaf litter reminds us that we share this peaceful sanctuary with countless other beings, all going about their autumn preparations in their own quiet ways. As the sun sinks lower in the western sky, its light becomes even more horizontal, creating longer shadows that stretch across the forest floor like dark ribbons woven through the golden carpet of leaves. The temperature begins to carry just the faintest hint of the coolness that will characterize the approaching night, a gentle reminder that even the most beautiful autumn days must eventually give way to the peaceful rest that darkness brings. The path continues its gentle descent from our forest amphitheater, leading us through a grove of American elm trees whose distinctive vase-shaped forms create natural archways overhead. These surviving elms stand with particular grace and dignity, their yellow leaves fluttering like countless golden butterflies whenever the evening breeze stirs their branches. The elm grove has an almost park-like quality, with the trees naturally spaced to create openness while still maintaining the intimate feeling of being embraced by the forest. Here, wild asters bloom in abundance among the fallen leaves, their purple flowers creating small galaxies of color that seem to pulse with their own gentle light in the gathering dusk. These hardy wildflowers understand the value of autumn blooming, providing nectar for the last butterflies of the season, while adding touches of unexpected color to the predominantly golden landscape. The evening light continues its magical transformation of everything it touches, turning ordinary surfaces into objects of extraordinary beauty. The smooth bark of the elm trees takes on a warm, honey-colored glow, while fallen leaves scattered across the forest floor appear to be lit from within by tiny flames. Even the spiderwebs that stretch between low branches become visible masterpieces, their delicate architecture highlighted by dewdrops that catch and reflect the golden light like scattered diamonds. As we continue along the peaceful path, the forest begins to reveal the subtle signs that evening is approaching. The bird songs that provided a cheerful soundtrack to our afternoon walk have given way to the softer, more mysterious sounds of twilight. Somewhere in the canopy above, a red squirrel chatters briefly before falling silent, while the gentle percussion of our footsteps against the leaf-covered ground seems to match the slowing rhythm of our hearts as the forest's calm energy seeps deeper into our being. The path leads us past a small seasonal pond that has formed in a natural depression, its still surface reflecting the golden canopy above like a mirror made of liquid light. This temporary water feature has become a gathering place for the forest community, with various animal tracks pressed into the soft mud around its edges, telling stories of nighttime visitors who come to drink from its clean, cool water. Cattails grow along the pond's marshy edges, their brown seed heads swaying gently in the evening breeze like nature's own metronomes, keeping time with the forest's peaceful rhythm. The water itself seems to hold the last light of day, glowing softly even as shadows begin to gather beneath the surrounding trees. A few fallen leaves float on its surface like tiny golden boats, while dragonflies skim across the water with movements so graceful they seem almost like a dance choreographed specifically for this peaceful evening moment. Beyond the pond, the path curves through a section of forest where paper birch trees stand like white beacons among their darker neighbors. In the evening light, these birches take on an almost luminous quality, their distinctive white bark seeming to glow from within, while their yellow leaves flutter like countless golden coins in the gentle breeze. The paper birches create their own particular atmosphere in the forest, their light-colored trunks serving as natural landmarks that help guide us along the winding path, while their delicate presence adds touches of grace and lightness to the surrounding woodland. The bark of these birches tells its own story through the patterns of its peeling, each tree wearing its age and experience in the curls and strips that catch the evening light and create ever-changing patterns of white and shadow. Some of these trees grow in clusters, their multiple trunks rising from shared root systems to create natural groves that feel both intimate and spacious at the same time. Among the birches, wild serviceberry bushes display their autumn colors in brilliant shades of orange and red that seem to burn like small fires in the gathering dusk. These understory plants add important layers to the forest's autumn display, their smaller scale creating intimate moments of beauty that complement the grander spectacle happening in the canopy above. As the evening continues to deepen, the forest light takes on an even warmer, more intimate quality that seems to embrace everything it touches with gentle affection. The golden rays that filter through the canopy create an atmosphere of perfect peace and contentment, transforming our forest walk into something that feels almost sacred in its beauty and tranquility. The path leads us to one final grove where ancient white oak trees stand in magnificent solitude, their massive trunks and spreading branches creating a natural cathedral that seems designed for quiet contemplation and peaceful rest. These trees, clearly centuries old, display their autumn colors with the quiet dignity that comes only with great age and experience. Their leaves, now dressed in warm shades of brown and russet, create a canopy that filters the evening light into something soft and golden, perfect for the peaceful conclusion of our autumn forest journey. Beneath these grandfather oaks, the forest floor is carpeted with generations of fallen leaves, creating a natural cushion that seems designed for those who seek a moment of perfect stillness in the embrace of these ancient trees. Here, surrounded by the quiet wisdom of the forest's eldest residents, time seems to slow to match the gentle rhythm of nature itself, creating space for the kind of deep rest that reaches into the very core of our being and reminds us of the peace that waits within us all. In this sacred grove of ancient oaks, we find ourselves at the heart of autumn's gentle embrace, where the very air seems to pulse with the accumulated wisdom of centuries. These magnificent trees stand like living monuments to patience and endurance, their massive trunks bearing the gentle scars and stories of countless seasons weathered and survived. The evening light that filters through their autumn canopy creates an atmosphere so peaceful it seems to slow the very passage of time itself. Here beneath these towering guardians, we can feel the forest's invitation to simply rest and breathe, to let go of whatever tensions or worries might have followed us into this peaceful sanctuary. The soft carpet of oak leaves beneath our feet cushions every step, while the gentle rustle of branches overhead creates a natural lullaby that seems designed to calm even the most restless spirit. This is a place where the hurried pace of modern life naturally gives way to something slower, deeper, and infinitely more restorative. The oak trees around us display their autumn colors with the quiet confidence that comes only with great age and experience. Their lobed leaves have transformed into warm shades of bronze, copper, and deep gold, creating a living tapestry that shifts and changes with every breath of evening wind. Some leaves still cling to their branches with determined grace, while others drift down in lazy spirals, adding new layers to the rich carpet that surrounds these ancient trunks. As we stand among these forest elders, the evening light continues its slow transformation from gold to amber, painting everything it touches with warmth and serenity. The deeply furrowed bark of the oak trees catches this light in patterns that seem almost deliberate in their beauty, creating abstract art pieces that invite closer contemplation. Each ridge and valley in the bark tells its own story of growth and survival, of storms weathered and seasons endured with quiet strength. The acorns that lie scattered beneath these mighty trees represent autumn's generous gift to the forest community. These small brown treasures, some still wearing their caps like tiny hats, while others have rolled free to reveal their polished surfaces, will sustain countless woodland creatures through the winter months ahead. The sight of these acorns reminds us that even in this season of apparent ending, nature is already preparing for the renewal that will come with spring's return. Moving slowly through this grove of giants, we notice how each tree has developed its own unique character through decades or perhaps centuries of growth. Some oaks stand perfectly straight and tall, their trunks rising like pillars toward the sky, while others have learned to lean and curve around obstacles long since vanished, their forms telling stories of adaptation and resilience. The spreading branches of these trees create natural umbrellas overhead, their intertwining canopy forming a ceiling that seems designed by nature herself for peaceful contemplation. The understory beneath these oaks reveals its own quiet treasures for those who take the time to look closely. Wild violets, their leaves now touched with autumn's golden hand, nestle among the fallen acorns and oak leaves. Small patches of wild ginger spread their heart-shaped leaves like living carpets, while occasional clusters of woodland asters add delicate touches of purple to the predominantly warm-toned landscape. As the evening progresses, the forest begins to settle into its twilight rhythm. The air grows slightly cooler, carrying with it the complex fragrance of decomposing leaves, rich earth, and the subtle sweetness of late-blooming wildflowers. This evening air has a particular quality that speaks of autumn's unique position between the warmth of summer and the crisp clarity of winter, holding within it the memory of sunny days while promising the restorative rest that comes with shorter daylight hours. The path continues its gentle meander through the oak grove, leading us past individual trees that seem to beckon for closer acquaintance. Here stands an oak whose trunk has grown around what must once have been a fence post, the metal now completely absorbed into the living wood, as if the tree had decided to embrace rather than resist this human intrusion. There grows another whose branches form a natural seat, at just the right height for a weary traveler to rest and contemplate the peaceful beauty surrounding them. The sounds of the evening forest begin to change as daylight slowly gives way to dusk. The cheerful songs of afternoon birds fade into the softer, more mysterious voices of twilight. Somewhere in the distance, a mourning dove calls with its gentle, melancholy note that seems perfectly suited to this peaceful hour. The rustle of small creatures moving through the leaf litter creates a soft percussion that mingles with the whisper of wind through oak leaves, composing a natural symphony designed for rest and reflection. As we continue our peaceful walk among these ancient trees, the evening light takes on an even more magical quality. The horizontal rays of the setting sun penetrate the forest at angles that seem calculated to showcase every beautiful detail of this autumn scene. Individual leaves appear to glow like stained glass windows, while the bark of trees takes on honey-colored tones that seem to radiate their own gentle warmth. Even the air itself seems touched by gold, creating an atmosphere that feels both substantial and dreamlike. The oak grove gradually gives way to a mixed forest, where other tree species join the majestic oaks in creating autumn's grand display. Here we encounter sugar maples, whose brilliant orange and red leaves create bursts of color that seem almost too vivid to be real. These maples stand like living flames among their more subdued oak neighbors, their five-pointed leaves catching the evening light and reflecting it back in shades that range from pale gold to deep crimson. Between the maples and oaks, hickory trees contribute their own understated elegance to the scene. Their compound leaves have turned the most delicate shade of butter yellow, creating feathery patterns that dance gracefully in the evening breeze. The hickory trees possess a particular grace in their form, with straight trunks and symmetrical branching that speaks of nature's innate sense of proportion and balance. The forest floor in this mixed grove presents a tapestry of fallen leaves in every conceivable shade of autumn. Maple leaves in brilliant reds and oranges mingle with oak leaves in warm browns and golds, while hickory leaflets add touches of pale yellow to the rich mixture. Walking through this natural carpet feels like moving across a masterpiece painted by the most skilled artist, each step revealing new combinations of color and texture that delight the eye and soothe the spirit. The path winds through this colorful grove, following the natural contours of the land with the easy grace of water finding its way downhill. Here and there, fallen branches create natural stepping stones across small depressions where rainwater has collected, forming tiny mirrors that reflect the colored canopy above. These small pools of water seem to hold fragments of the sky within their still surfaces, creating moments of perfect beauty that invite pause and contemplation. As we walk deeper into this mixed forest, the trees begin to reveal the subtle signs of evening's approach. The light filtering through the canopy takes on a warmer, more diffused quality as the sun sinks lower in the western sky. Shadows grow longer and softer, stretching across the path like dark ribbons woven through the golden carpet of leaves. The temperature begins to carry just the faintest hint of coolness, a gentle reminder that autumn evenings, however beautiful, mark the gradual transition toward winter's quieter season. The evening breeze picks up slightly, setting the leaves above us into gentle motion that creates an ever-changing pattern of light and shadow on the forest floor. This movement brings with it the soft susurrus of leaves brushing against each other, a sound that seems to carry the whispered secrets of the season. When maple leaves rustle together, they create a sound like gentle applause, as if the trees themselves were celebrating the beauty of this peaceful moment. Moving through this mixed grove, we begin to encounter evidence of the forest's busy autumn preparations. Squirrels chatter briefly in the branches overhead, before scampering away to continue their harvest of nuts and seeds. Small holes in the soft earth mark places where these industrious creatures have buried their winter stores, while scattered shell fragments show where others have already enjoyed nature's bounty. The sight of these preparations reminds us that we are witnesses to one of nature's most important seasons, a time when all living things ready themselves for the challenges and rest that winter will bring. The path curves around a massive boulder that has somehow found its way to this forest floor, perhaps carried here by glaciers in some distant ice age, or revealed by countless seasons of erosion, wearing away the surrounding soil. This ancient stone has become a focal point for the forest community, its surface covered in soft green moss, while small ferns grow from cracks in its weathered face. The boulder creates its own microclimate, with cooler, moister conditions that support different plants than those thriving in the warmer, drier areas nearby. We pause beside this stone sentinel, using its moss-covered surface as a natural bench, where we can rest and absorb the peaceful energy of our surroundings. From this vantage point, the autumn forest reveals itself as a living masterpiece, woven from countless individual threads, each tree and plant contributing its own color and texture to the overall pattern. The view encompasses layers upon layers of autumn beauty, from the rich carpet of fallen leaves at our feet to the golden canopy stretching overhead like a ceiling painted by nature's own hand. The evening light has reached that magical quality that transforms ordinary surfaces into objects of extraordinary beauty. The smooth moss beneath our hands feels soft as velvet, while the ancient stone radiates a subtle warmth that speaks of countless summer days absorbed and stored. Around us, the mixed forest presents a symphony of colors that seems to pulse with its own gentle rhythm, each tree species contributing its own voice to the overall harmony. As we rise from our stone seat and continue along the winding path, the forest begins to show more definitive signs of evening's arrival. The light grows warmer and more horizontal, creating longer shadows that stretch across our way like nature's own carpet. The air carries just the faintest hint of coolness now, a gentle reminder that autumn days, however beautiful, are growing shorter and that winter's quiet season waits patiently just beyond the horizon. The path leads us into a grove of American chestnut trees, young specimens that represent hope and renewal in the forest ecosystem. These trees, with their long serrated leaves now turned warm yellow gold, stand as symbols of resilience and nature's endless capacity for healing and regeneration. Their presence here speaks of careful tending and patient hope, of people who understand the value of looking toward the future while honoring the wisdom of the past. The chestnut grove possesses an almost sacred quality in the evening light, with the young trees creating natural columns that support a canopy of gold and amber. The forest floor here is carpeted with their fallen leaves, creating a thick, soft surface that muffles sound and seems to absorb the last light of day into its warm embrace. Walking through this grove feels like moving through a living cathedral, where every element has been arranged for maximum peace and beauty. Among these promising chestnuts, wild cherry trees add their own contribution to the autumn display. Their oval leaves have turned deep burgundy that appears almost black in the shadows, but glows like wine when touched by the evening's slanted rays. The bark of these cherry trees catches the eye with its distinctive horizontal markings, creating natural calligraphy that tells the story of each tree's growth through changing seasons and varying conditions. As the evening continues to deepen, we find ourselves in a section of forest where basswood trees create their own peaceful kingdom. These trees, also known as American linden, display their heart-shaped leaves in soft shades of pale yellow that seem to capture and hold the fading light. The basswood leaves have a particular way of moving in the breeze, turning and twisting to show both their lighter undersides and darker tops, creating a constantly shifting display that mesmerizes and soothes the watching eye. The basswood trees possess a gentle presence that perfectly matches the contemplative mood of our evening walk. Their smooth grey bark feels almost soft to the touch, while their broadly spreading branches create natural umbrellas that provide shelter and shade. The leaves of these trees seem to whisper ancient secrets when the wind moves through them, creating sounds that are more like gentle sighs than the sharper rustling of other species. Beneath the basewoods, the forest floor reveals new treasures for those who take the time to look closely. Wild ginseng plants, now dressed in their autumn yellow, hide among the leaf litter like forest jewels waiting to be discovered. Their distinctive compound leaves and bright red berries create small moments of wonder for the observant walker, reminders that even in this season of apparent dormancy, life continues its mysterious processes of growth and renewal. The path begins to follow a gentle stream that winds its way through this section of forest, its water moving with the unhurried grace that characterizes everything about this peaceful place. The stream's voice adds another layer to the forest's evening chorus, a liquid music that seems designed to carry away whatever tensions or worries might still linger in our minds. Along the water's edge, willows have found their perfect home, their narrow leaves now turned pale gold, creating graceful curtains that sway in the evening breeze. As we follow the stream's meandering course, the forest around us continues to settle into its twilight rhythm. The air grows progressively cooler, though it still holds enough warmth to comfort and embrace us. Each breath brings with it the complex perfume of the evening forest, layers of fragrance that speak of decomposing leaves returning to earth, of late wildflowers releasing their final gifts into the cooling air, and of the rich, loamy soil that forms the foundation of this entire living community. The stream creates its own microclimate along its banks, where the extra moisture and cooling effect of moving water have allowed different plants to flourish. Wild mint grows in abundance here, releasing its fresh, clean scent whenever our passage brushes against its leaves. Small clusters of late-blooming asters add unexpected touches of purple to the warm autumn palette, their star-shaped flowers proving that beauty can emerge even as the year moves toward its quieter months. The water itself seems to hold the last light of day, its surface creating a mirror that reflects the autumn canopy above in perfect detail. Fallen leaves float on the gentle current like nature's own boats, some bright and freshly fallen, others darkened and waterlogged from days of gentle travel downstream. The soft babble of water over stones adds another voice to the forest's peaceful symphony, a constant gentle murmur that seems to slow time itself and invite deeper states of rest and contemplation. As our peaceful streamside walk continues, the evening light takes on an even more magical quality. The horizontal rays of the setting sun penetrate the forest canopy at angles that seem designed to showcase every beautiful detail of this autumn scene. Individual leaves appear to glow like tiny lanterns, while the smooth stones visible beneath the clear water take on warm, honey-colored tones that seem to pulse with their own gentle life. The path eventually leads us away from the stream and into a final grove where ancient white pine trees stand like tall green spires among their deciduous neighbors. These evergreen giants provide important contrast to the warm colors of autumn, their steady green presence serving as a reminder that life continues even as the deciduous trees prepare for their season of rest. The white pines create their own particular atmosphere in the forest, their needle-covered branches filtering the evening light into something soft and green-tinged. while their distinctive pine fragrance adds another layer to the complex bouquet of autumn scents. Beneath these towering pines, the forest floor is carpeted with fallen needles that create a soft, springy surface, perfect for quiet walking. The pine needles release their resinous fragrance with each step, a clean, sharp scent that seems to clear the mind and deepen the breathing. Mixed among the pine needles, the last fallen leaves of the surrounding deciduous trees create splashes of color that seem almost jewel-like against the darker background. As the sun sinks lower in the western sky, and the evening light continues its gradual transformation from gold to amber, we find ourselves naturally slowing our pace even further. The forest's calm energy has worked its way deep into our being, replacing whatever hurried thoughts or anxious feelings we might have carried into this peaceful place with something infinitely more restful and restorative. Our breathing has become deeper and more regular, our shoulders have relaxed, and our minds have settled into the quiet rhythm that matches the forest's own peaceful pulse. Here among these ancient trees, surrounded by the gentle magnificence of autumn's transformation, we discover what it truly means to move at nature's pace. There are no schedules to keep in this place, no urgent messages requiring immediate attention, no demands beyond the simple invitation to be present in this moment of perfect beauty and tranquility. The forest offers us a gift more precious than any material treasure, the opportunity to remember what peace feels like, and to carry that memory with us long after we leave this sacred grove. The evening continues to deepen around us, bringing with it the first hints of night's approach. Stars begin to appear in the darkening sky above the canopy, their distant light adding another layer of magic to this already enchanted scene. The air grows cooler still, carrying with it the promise of restful sleep and peaceful dreams. In the distance, an owl calls softly, its voice seeming to bless this perfect ending to our autumn forest journey. As we prepare to leave this peaceful sanctuary, we carry with us more than just memories of beautiful colors and gentle sounds. We take with us the forest's gift of deep calm, the reminder that peace is always available to those who seek it in nature's embrace, and the knowledge that somewhere in the world, ancient trees continue their quiet work of creating beauty, shelter, and sanctuary for all who need refuge from life's storms. The path ahead winds gently back toward the world beyond the forest, but the peace we have found here will remain with us long after the last golden leaf has faded from sight. In quiet moments to come, we will remember this autumn evening among the trees, and in that remembering, we will find again the deep rest and gentle joy that lives at the heart of nature's endless generosity. Osity, the gentle twilight embrace of the forest, settles around us like a familiar blanket, each breath drawing in the essence of autumn's quiet transformation. The air has taken on that particular quality of evening hours, crisp enough to awaken the senses, yet still holding warmth from the day's gentle embrace. As we continue along this peaceful path, the trees around us seem to glow from within, their autumn colors deepened and enriched by the horizontal light that slants through the canopy in golden shafts. Here, where the path curves gently to follow an ancient deer trail, we encounter a grove of red maple trees that stand like living torches against the darkening sky. These magnificent trees have reached the peak of their autumn glory, their three-lobed leaves displaying every shade from pale gold to deep scarlet. Some leaves still cling to their branches with determined grace, while others drift down in lazy spirals that seem to dance with invisible currents of evening air. The sight is mesmerizing, each falling leaf following its own unique path as it joins the thick carpet below. The sound of our footsteps mingles harmoniously with the other gentle voices of the evening forest. The soft crunch of leaves beneath our feet creates a rhythm that seems to match the peaceful beating of our hearts, while somewhere overhead, a gentle breeze sets the remaining leaves into motion with whispers that carry the secrets of the season. Even the smallest sounds seem amplified in this peaceful hour, from the distant rustle of a chipmunk preparing its winter stores to the soft percussion of acorns dropping onto the leaf-covered ground. Moving deeper into this red maple grove, we notice how the evening light transforms every surface it touches. The smooth bark of younger trees takes on a warm copper glow, while the deeper furrows of older trunks create intricate patterns of light and shadow that shift and change with every breath of wind. The forest floor beneath these trees presents a tapestry of such richness that it seems almost too beautiful to disturb. Layers upon layers of crimson and gold leaves creating a natural carpet that cushions every step. The path leads us past a particularly magnificent specimen, an ancient red maple whose massive trunk speaks of centuries of patient growth. Its spreading canopy creates a natural cathedral overhead, while its roots have grown around and over the forest floor to create gentle rises and dips that add character to our peaceful journey. This grandmother tree seems to emanate a calm presence that invites us to pause and simply breathe in the tranquility of this perfect autumn moment. Beneath this ancient maple, we discover a small clearing where wildflowers continue their brave autumn display. Late blooming goldenrod waves its bright yellow plumes in the evening breeze, while clusters of purple New England asters create small galaxies of color among the fallen leaves. These hardy wildflowers seem to understand that their time is precious, blooming with an intensity that speaks of autumn's particular gift for concentrated beauty in the face of approaching winter. The clearing provides a perfect vantage point for observing the forest's evening transformation. From here, we can see how the different tree species arrange themselves across the gentle slopes and valleys, each finding its own perfect niche in this complex woodland community. The red maples dominate the immediate area with their brilliant colors, while in the distance, we can glimpse the golden crowns of hickory trees and the deeper browns of oak groves, all blending together into a symphony of autumn hues. As the evening progresses, the forest light takes on an even warmer quality that seems to emanate from within the trees themselves. The horizontal rays of the setting sun penetrate the canopy at angles that create moments of pure magic, illuminating spider webs stretched between branches until they glitter like strings of diamonds, highlighting the delicate frost patterns that have begun to form on some of the shadowed leaves, and setting individual maple leaves ablaze with color so intense they seem to generate their own inner fire. The path continues its gentle descent from the clearing, leading us through a section of forest where American beech trees have claimed their territory. These smooth-barked trees create their own particular atmosphere, their oval leaves now turned warm shades of copper and bronze that seem to hold the last light of day within their surfaces. The beech trees have a distinctive way of holding onto their leaves well into winter, and even now many branches remain fully clothed in autumn colors that rustle softly whenever the evening breeze stirs their crowns. The understory beneath these beech trees reveals autumn's gifts in miniature detail. Small beech nuts lie scattered among the fallen leaves like nature's own confetti, their three-sided shells splitting open to reveal the rich, triangular nuts within. Wild leek plants, their broad leaves now yellowed and beginning to fade, carpet sections of the forest floor with their distinctive fragrance. Even the smallest details contribute to the overall sense of abundance and preparation that characterizes this magical season. Moving through the beech grove, we begin to notice how the forest's evening sounds have evolved into something softer and more mysterious than the cheerful chorus of afternoon. The last songbirds of the day offer gentle notes that seem to float on the cooling air, while the rustle of small creatures moving through the leaf litter creates a gentle percussion that speaks of busy preparations for the winter ahead. Somewhere in the distance, the soft hoot of a great horned owl adds its voice to the growing twilight symphony. The path winds around a small, seasonal wetland where cattails stand in graceful clusters, their brown seed heads swaying gently in the evening breeze like nature's own prayer flags. The still water reflects the autumn canopy above in perfect detail, creating the illusion that we are walking between two worlds of color and light. A few late dragonflies skim across the water's surface with movements so graceful they seem choreographed specifically for this peaceful evening hour. Along the wetland's edges, different plants thrive in the extra moisture. Wild rice grasses add their golden contribution to the scene, while patches of arrowhead plants show where shallow water meets the forest floor. Even this temporary water feature supports its own complete ecosystem, reminding us that nature finds ways to create life and beauty in every available space, no matter how small or seasonal. As we continue our peaceful journey past the wetland, the forest begins to show more definitive signs of evening's approach. The temperature has dropped just enough to require deeper breathing of the crisp air, while the light filtering through the canopy has taken on the rich amber quality that photographers treasure. Shadows grow longer and more pronounced, stretching across the path in gentle patterns that seem to invite slower walking and deeper contemplation. The path leads us into a grove of white ash trees whose compound leaves have turned the most delicate shade of pale yellow. These graceful trees create their own particular atmosphere in the forest, their light-colored foliage seeming to capture and hold the fading daylight, even as shadows gather beneath the surrounding canopy. The white ash leaves have a distinctive way of moving in the breeze, fluttering with a sound like gentle applause, as if the trees themselves were celebrating the beauty of this peaceful moment. Beneath these ash trees, the forest floor presents a carpet of fallen leaflets that create intricate patterns of yellow and gold. The compound nature of ash leaves means that each fallen branch contributes dozens of small leaflets to the forest floor, creating a tapestry of such delicate beauty that every step seems almost too intrusive. Yet the soft crunch beneath our feet adds its own voice to the evening's gentle symphony, a percussion section that keeps time with our slowing heartbeat. The evening breeze picks up slightly as we move through the ash grove, setting the leaves above us into gentle motion that creates an ever-changing pattern of light and shadow on the ground below. This movement brings with it the complex fragrance of the autumn forest, layers of scent that speak of decomposing leaves slowly returning to earth, late wildflowers releasing their final perfumes into the cooling air, and the rich, loamy soil that forms the foundation of this entire living community. Moving beyond the ash trees, we encounter a mixed section of forest where different species create their own peaceful congress. Here, sugar maples stand alongside white oaks and black cherry trees, each contributing its own voice to the autumn chorus. The sugar maples blaze with colors so intense they seem almost artificial, their five-pointed leaves ranging from pure gold to deep orange and red. The white oaks provide grounding presence with their more subdued but equally beautiful bronze and brown tones, while the cherry trees add touches of deep burgundy that appear almost black in the gathering shadows. This mixed grove feels like a natural gathering place where the forest community comes together to share the abundance of the season. The different leaf shapes and colors create a tapestry of such complexity that the eye never tires of discovering new combinations and patterns. Maple leaves, with their distinctive points, mingle with oak leaves and their rounded lobes, while cherry leaves add their own oval shapes to the rich mixture scattered across the forest floor. The path curves through this colorful congregation, following the natural flow of the land toward what sounds like another gentle stream somewhere ahead. As we walk downhill, the character of the forest changes subtly, becoming more lush and varied as we approach the water source. Here, where moisture collects and lingers, different trees have found their perfect home, creating yet another chapter in the forest's complex story. Tulip trees begin to appear among the other species, their uniquely shaped leaves now transformed into living gold that seems to glow even in the diminishing light. These magnificent trees, some reaching heights that disappear into the canopy above, create their own cathedral spaces with their straight trunks and spreading branches. When the evening breeze moves through their crowns, it creates sounds like distant applause, as if nature herself were celebrating the beauty of this peaceful transition from day to night. The sound of moving water grows clearer as we continue our descent, and soon we find ourselves beside a creek that moves with gentle purpose through this lower section of forest. The water here flows with the unhurried grace that characterizes everything about this peaceful place, creating small pools and riffles that catch the last light and reflect it back in ripples of gold and amber. The stream's voice adds another layer to the forest's evening lullaby, a liquid music that seems designed to wash away whatever tensions or concerns might have followed us into this sanctuary. Along the creek's banks, a different plant community thrives in the blessed moisture. Elderberry bushes, their compound leaves now turned warm yellow, create graceful screens along the water's edge. Wild watercress grows in the shallows, its bright green providing striking contrast to the predominantly warm tones of the autumn landscape. Even here beside the life-giving water, autumn's influence is evident in the golden grasses and the way evening frost has begun to touch the edges of broader leaves with delicate white tracery. The path follows the creek for a peaceful distance, winding along its banks where generations of footsteps have worn the ground smooth and soft. Here and there we notice the delicate tracks of raccoons pressed into the moist earth, evidence of nighttime visitors who come to drink and perhaps to wash their food in the stream's clean, cold water. The sight of these tracks reminds us that we are temporary guests in a world that continues its ancient rhythms, whether we are present to witness them or not. And so, our gentle journey through autumn's golden embrace draws to its peaceful close. We have wandered together through groves painted in copper and crimson, listened to the quiet conversations of falling leaves, and breathed in the wine-sweet air of the season's transformation. The forest has shared its ancient wisdom of patience and renewal, reminding us that there is profound beauty in letting go and finding rest in nature's eternal rhythms. As you carry these moments of tranquility with you, may the memory of golden light and whispering branches return whenever you need to remember that peace is always waiting, just a breath away. Rest well and let the forest's gentle lullaby guide you into peaceful dreams.